Every spring, something happens at Aldi that catches even experienced shoppers off guard. The garden section arrives, fully stocked, beautifully priced, and completely gone before most seniors realize it was ever there. The customers who know what is coming show up on the first Wednesday of the spring rotation with a list and a plan. The customers who do not know show up 2 weeks later to find empty shelving and no indication of when any of it will return. These are 15 garden finds that disappear faster than almost anything else in the store. Number 15 alone is going to change how several seniors think about their outdoor space this spring. 15. Raised garden bed kits. With Cedar construction. Cedar is the wood that serious gardeners insist on for raised bed construction, and the reasons are practical rather than aesthetic. Cedar contains natural oils that resist the rot, insect damage, and moisture degradation that destroy untreated lumber. Raised beds within 2 to 3 growing seasons. A properly constructed cedar raised bed lasts a decade or more with no treatment required and no replacement cost to plan around. The Cedar Raised Garden Bed Kits appearing in Aldi's Spring Garden Finds rotation deliver this durability standard at a price that lumber yards, garden centers, and home improvement retailers charge significantly more for, often for, materials requiring assembly expertise and additional hardware that the Aldi kit includes completely. For seniors who have been managing ground-level gardening with increasing physical difficulty, the raised bed format addresses the primary barrier to continued outdoor growing. Beds elevated to comfortable working height eliminate the bending and kneeling that have converted enthusiastic senior gardeners into reluctant ones. The cedar construction ensures that the investment made this spring is still delivering value 5 growing seasons from now. The 2026 Aldi Cedar Raised Bed Kit introduces a modular design allowing seniors to configure their beds in L shapes, U shapes, or extended linear arrangements without purchasing additional kits. The interlocking panel system requires no tools and no hardware for assembly, and former employees describe seniors completing the assembly in the store parking lot before loading the finished bed frame into their vehicle. Former employees describe the Cedar Raised Bed Kit as the first Garden Finds item to sell out at virtually every location in the spring rotation, cleared not by casual browsers but by seniors who arrived specifically for it, understood exactly what it was worth, and bought in quantities that reflected how rarely this quality meets this price. Cedar at this price does not wait for a second visit. What is coming at number 14 is what goes inside the raised bed, and Aldi has sourced it in a format that most seniors will not find at any garden center for anywhere close to this price. 14. Organic raised bed soil. Mix with compost and perlite. The soil that goes inside a raised garden bed determines everything that follows. The germination rate of seeds, the root development of transplants, the moisture retention that reduces watering frequency, the drainage that prevents the root rot that kills more container and raised bed plants than any pest or disease, the nutrient availability that determines whether a plant produces abundantly or struggles throughout the season. Organic raised bed soil mixes that include properly aged compost for nutrient density, perlite for drainage optimization, and coir or vermiculite for moisture retention represent the professional standard that serious gardeners and agricultural extension specialists recommend for raised bed success. At garden centers, this specification in large format bags carries prices that add meaningfully to the cost of establishing a new raised bed. Aldi's Spring Garden Rotation includes large format organic raised bed soil mix with the compost and perlite combination at a price per cubic foot that former employees and experienced gardeners describe as representing the most favorable comparison to garden center pricing of any product in the Garden Find section. For seniors establishing their first raised beds or replenishing beds from previous seasons, buying soil at Aldi rather than a garden center produces immediate savings that make the total raised bed establishment cost more accessible on a fixed income budget without compromising the soil quality that determines the season's success. Soil sorted. What is at number 13 is the tool that seniors need before the soil goes anywhere, and it is disappearing from the Garden Find section faster than almost any item in the rotation. 13. Ergonomic long handle. Garden tool. Set. The garden tool category is where the gap between what most seniors are working with and what ergonomic design principles suggest they should be working with is widest, and where the consequences of that gap in joint pain, fatigue, and gardening sustainability are most directly felt across every hour spent in the outdoor space. Conventional garden tools were designed for efficiency of production rather than ergonomics of use. The handle lengths, grip diameters, and weight distributions of standard garden tools require the bending, reaching, and sustained grip pressure that become increasingly difficult and increasingly painful for seniors managing the arthritis, reduced grip strength, and back conditions nearly universal in the aging population. Former employees describe this set selling faster than any individual garden item in the finds section because it is purchased not by casual gardeners who might reconsider, but by seniors who have been working with inadequate tools long enough to recognize immediately what the ergonomic design means for their gardening comfort and sustainability. The set includes the 5 core tool types covering the majority of raised bed and container gardening tasks: trowel for planting and transplanting, cultivator for soil aeration and weed disruption, hand rake for leveling and debris management, weeder for taproot weed extraction, and a narrow spade for the border and edging work that defines the clean appearance of a well-maintained garden. That was the tools sorted at the right price. What is coming at number 12 is something that expands what a senior can grow dramatically, and Aldi is selling it in a format that former employees describe as generating the most excited customer reactions of any seed product they have stocked. 12. Heirloom Seed Collection. With 60-plus varieties, the seed category at garden centers has narrowed progressively as commercial horticulture has consolidated around high-yield hybrid varieties optimized for commercial production rather than for the flavor, nutritional density, and growing resilience that gardening enthusiasts have always valued. Heirloom seeds represent the varieties that were grown for generations before commercial horticulture introduced the hybrid development that prioritized shelf life, uniform appearance, and mechanical harvest compatibility over the characteristics that make homegrown vegetables genuinely superior to store-bought alternatives in the experiences that matter most to gardeners. The Heirloom seed collection appearing in Aldi's garden finds rotation includes more than 60 distinct varieties across tomatoes, peppers, beans, squash, herbs, and leafy greens. Each variety selected for its combination of growing accessibility for home gardeners and flavor or nutritional characteristics that its commercial hybrid alternatives do not match. Former employees describe this collection generating uniquely engaged customer interest. Seniors who stop in the aisle to read variety descriptions with genuine absorption, rather than making the quick selection that standard seed rack products produce. Number 11 is the garden. Find that former employees describe as generating the single most dramatic reaction of any item in the spring find section. The reaction is always the same and it always ends with the item in the cart. 11. Self-watering planter system. With reservoir technology, consistent watering is the variable that determines more outcomes in container and raised bed gardening than any other single factor, and it is the variable that creates the most significant ongoing demand on senior gardeners whose physical capability, daily energy, and schedule reliability all affect their ability to maintain the watering consistency that plants require. Self-watering planter systems with sub-irrigation reservoir technology address this challenge at the design level rather than asking the gardener to compensate for it through behavior. The reservoir at the base of the planter holds a water volume that the plant draws from through capillary action at the rate its root system requires, providing consistent moisture delivery without the surface watering that wets foliage in ways that promote disease and delivers water before the plant needs it or after a critical moisture window has passed. The Aldi self-watering planter system in the 2026 spring finds rotation includes modular planter units in multiple sizes, a central reservoir with a fill indicator visible without bending or lifting the planter, and a water level gauge showing remaining reservoir capacity. The fill interval for the reservoir, under normal growing conditions, extends from 1 to 3 weeks, depending on plant type, weather, and season, transforming a daily gardening task into a weekly one that is compatible with the schedules and energy patterns of seniors managing multiple daily priorities. The price at which Aldi offers this system is dramatically below what comparable self-watering planter technology costs at specialty garden retailers and online horticultural supply companies. The quality of the reservoir seal and the water level indicator in the Aldi version has been praised by former employees and customers who have used competitive products at significantly higher prices. If this list is building your spring garden plan, hit that like button right now and subscribe, because number 10 is the garden. Find that nutritionists specifically recommend for seniors, and that Aldi is pricing in a way that makes establishing your own supply this spring one of the most valuable health decisions of the year. 10. Medicinal and culinary herb plant collection. Fresh herbs are the dietary bridge between food that is merely nutritious and food that is genuinely delicious. And for seniors managing reduced appetite, the palatability advantage of herb-enhanced cooking is not a minor aesthetic preference. It is a nutritional access mechanism. Seniors who eat with more your pleasure, eat more consistently and in adequate quantities. And the herbs that transform a bland preparation into something genuinely appealing are among the most direct dietary interventions available for the appetite challenges that accompany aging. The medicinal dimension of Aldi's herb plant collection is the element that the senior health community has been most excited about in the 2026 spring rotation. The collection includes culinary standards like basil, rosemary, thyme, and oregano, alongside medicinal varieties including lemon balm, whose anxiolytic and sleep-promoting properties have research support dating back decades, echinacea for immune support, and lavender for its well-documented stress reduction and sleep quality applications. Former employees describe the medicinal herb collection as the garden find generating the most research-oriented customer engagement. Seniors who stop at the herb section are not browsing. They are reading plant identification tags with specific health application awareness, selecting varieties based on the conditions they are managing rather than the flavors they prefer. The price for established herb plants at Aldi compared to garden centers represents a savings that compounds across the season, as each purchased plant produces weeks to months of fresh herb harvest that would otherwise require repeated grocery store purchases at premium fresh herb prices. That was health and flavor united in a single planter. What is coming at number 9 is a structural garden investment that seniors who have been spending money maintaining inadequate outdoor furniture every spring will never need to make again after this purchase. 9. Powder-coated steel garden furniture. Set outdoor furniture for seniors needs to satisfy two criteria: that cheap resin patio sets consistently fail, and that premium teak or aluminum furniture satisfies only at prices that require specific budgetary commitment. The furniture needs to be durable enough to last multiple seasons without the structural degradation that cheap materials produce, and it needs to be comfortable enough for the extended outdoor sitting that gardening enjoyment and outdoor leisure involve for seniors whose relationship with their outdoor space is a genuine daily well-being resource. Powder-coated steel outdoor furniture addresses both criteria at a mid-range price point that the Aldi Garden Find section delivers at a fraction of what comparable specifications cost through conventional patio furniture retailers. Includes 2 chairs and a table in a coordinated design with the seat height and armrest positioning that supports comfortable sitting and standing transitions for seniors managing the hip and knee conditions that make low-seat furniture genuinely problematic rather than merely inconvenient. Former employees describe the furniture set selling fastest at locations in markets with early spring arrival, where seniors have been waiting through winter to restore their outdoor spaces and arrive at the store with the specific purchase intention that produces the decisive cart placement that clears this item before the casual browsers arrive. That was the outdoor sitting space established beautifully. Number 8 is what makes the space productive, and it is a garden. Find that former employees say consistently generates the most surprised reactions from seniors who did not expect to find this quality at an Aldi price. 8. Greenhouse Starter Kit with Polycarbonate Panels. The growing season extension that a greenhouse or cold frame provides transforms what a senior gardener can grow, and when they can grow it in ways that justify the investment through earlier harvests, later season production, and the ability to start seeds and establish seedlings weeks before outdoor planting conditions permit. Polycarbonate panel construction is the specification that distinguishes functional greenhouse equipment from the flimsy plastic sheeting alternatives that fail in the first significant wind event of the season. Polycarbonate panels provide genuine insulation through their twin-wall or multi-wall construction, UV resistance that prevents the yellowing and brittleness degradation that clear plastic experiences with sun exposure, and the structural rigidity that maintains the greenhouse environment without the constant repair and replacement that film plastic structures require. The Aldi Greenhouse Starter Kit in the 2026 Spring Garden Finds delivers polycarbonate panel quality in a compact size specifically suited to balcony, patio, or small garden installation, with ventilation panels that regulate internal temperature during the warm days that would otherwise create lethal heat accumulation inside a sealed growing structure. The assembly system uses a snap-together frame design that former employees describe seniors completing independently without tools within 30 to 45 minutes of receiving the kit, producing a functional growing structure at the end of the assembly session rather than a multi-day project requiring construction expertise. Former employees at locations where this item appeared in previous spring rotations describe it selling out faster than any other large garden finds item, driven by the combination of polycarbonate quality recognition among experienced gardeners and price recognition among seniors who have researched greenhouse options and understand what polycarbonate normally costs. Number 7 takes the list in a different direction and involves a garden. Find that the online community has been posting about with the specific enthusiasm reserved for products that deliver a quality level nobody expected from a discount grocery store's garden section. 7. Japanese steel. Pruning and cutting tool. Set Japanese steel has a specific reputation in the cutting tool world that is based on measurable metallurgical properties rather than on marketing mythology. The high-carbon steel alloys used in Japanese cutting tool production achieve edge hardness levels and edge geometry specifications that allow thinner, sharper cutting edges held at more acute angles than Western steel traditions typically produce, resulting in cutting tools that slice rather than crush plant tissue in ways that affect both the immediate precision of the cut and the subsequent healing response of the plant. The practical benefit for senior gardeners is not primarily about the botanical precision of the cut, though that matters for plant health. It is about the reduction in hand and wrist force required to make each cut. A sharper tool with better edge geometry cuts with significantly less applied force, meaning that the pruning, deadheading, and harvesting tasks that accumulate across a gardening session become less physically demanding in aggregate when the tools perform at this level. Aldi's 2026 Spring Garden finds Japanese steel cutting tool set includes bypass pruners with a ratcheting mechanism that distributes the cutting force across multiple small strokes for seniors managing reduced grip strength, long handle loppers for the branches and stems that require two-handed cutting power, and a folding pruning saw for the woody material that requires a saw rather than a blade. Former employees with personal gardening experience describe this set as the garden. Find they most personally recommend to family members who garden because the quality difference between Japanese steel cutting tools and conventional Western specification alternatives is immediately apparent in use and produces the kind of daily gardening experience improvement that accumulates into genuine gardening enjoyment rather than a physical endurance test. That was precision and ease in a tool set. What is coming at number 6 will make the space around those tools look extraordinary, and it is the garden find that landscape designers would recommend if they were shopping at Aldi's price points. 6. Perennial flower and native plant collection. Annuals require replanting every season. The labor, the cost, the soil disturbance, and the bare bed waiting period between the end of one annual cycle and the establishment of the next represent ongoing investment that perennial plants eliminate through their fundamental biology. Perennial plants return from their root systems each spring, establishing more deeply and performing more vigorously with each passing season, rather than requiring the complete re-establishment that annuals demand. A perennial garden planted this spring is, with appropriate plant selection, a garden that continues to develop and improve for 5, 10, or 20 years without the replanting investment that annual gardening requires annually. The price for established perennial starts at Aldi compares to garden center pricing in ways that make buying enough plants for a genuinely impactful planting financially accessible in a single spring purchase rather than a multi-season gradual accumulation. Number 5 is the find that seniors who grow vegetables have been waiting for all winter, and that disappears within hours of the spring rotation arriving. Former employees who garden themselves describe buying this immediately on the first day of their shift when it appears. 5. Heritage tomato and pepper. Transplant collection. Tomatoes grown at home from quality transplants of genuine heritage varieties represent one of the most dramatic quality differences between homegrown and store-bought that the entire garden produces. The vine-ripened flavor development that commercial tomatoes never achieve because they are harvested green and ripened artificially with ethylene gas is available only to growers who allow their fruit to reach peak ripeness on the plant itself. Heritage tomato varieties in Aldi's 2026 transplant collection include indeterminate varieties that produce across the full season, rather than setting all fruit simultaneously, cherry and grape types providing early and consistent harvest throughout summer, and the beefsteak varieties that deliver the large format slicing tomatoes that senior gardeners who remember growing tomatoes decades ago associate with the flavor that commercial tomatoes have never been able to replicate. The pepper collection companions, the tomatoes with both sweet and mildly hot varieties, selected for container and raised bed performance, providing the fresh pepper access that transforms home cooking throughout the harvest season at a cost representing a small fraction of what buying fresh peppers weekly at grocery stores costs across the growing season. Planting window matters enormously here. Buy these immediately when they appear and have your growing space prepared to receive them. Do not plan to return for them. That was the harvest season secured. What is coming at number 4 is a garden. Find that protects everything you have just planted and that former employees describe as one of the most practically necessary items in the entire spring rotation. 4. Garden netting and row cover system. Everything a senior plants in the spring garden faces the same fundamental challenge from the moment it goes into the ground. Birds, insects, and small mammals that view a carefully planted garden as a food source rather than a gardening investment. Garden netting and row cover materials address this challenge at the prevention level rather than the intervention level, protecting plants from the pest access that damages them before any other intervention becomes relevant. The row cover fabric in Aldi's garden system serves the additional function of extending the planting season by providing frost protection that allows earlier planting in spring and later harvesting in fall than unprotected outdoor conditions permit. Former employees who garden describe this system as one of the items they wish more customers understood the value of before their first season's losses taught them the lesson directly. The senior who plants without protection discovers what birds do to seedlings. The senior who plants with the Aldi netting system harvests what they planted. The price is accessible enough that buying it alongside the plants it protects adds a modest amount to the garden investment that pays back through harvest protection. On the first day, it prevents a bird from taking the tomato seedlings you spent the morning planting. Protection in place. Number 3 is a garden. Find that most seniors have never considered buying at Aldi, but that former employees describe as one of the most surprising quality revelations in the entire spring rotation. 3. Ceramic and glazed. Decorative planter collection. Gardens are not purely productive spaces, they are aesthetic ones. The visual character of a senior's outdoor space, the color, the texture, the arrangement of plants in containers that complement rather than merely contain them, affects the daily pleasure of spending time outdoors in ways that productivity alone does not address. The ceramic and glazed decorative planter collection in Aldi's Spring Garden Finds delivers the visual quality of specialty garden store ceramics at a price point that makes acquiring a complete coordinated container arrangement financially accessible rather than aspirationally expensive. The 2026 collection introduces hand-painted glazed designs across a coordinated size range from small windowsill planters to large statement containers suitable for specimen plants, architectural placements, and the corner anchors that define the visual structure of an outdoor space. For seniors who have been using functional but visually undistinguished plastic or basic terracotta containers because the decorative ceramics at garden centers carried prices that made aesthetic investment feel like an unjustifiable luxury, the Aldi Ceramic Collection represents the opportunity to make the outdoor space genuinely beautiful without the premium that beauty normally costs. Former employees describe the decorative planter collection selling to a specifically appreciative customer group. Seniors who examine the glaze quality, look at the drainage hole design, check the frost resistance specification on the label, and place items in the cart with the satisfaction of someone who has been waiting for exactly this quality at exactly this price. That was beauty and function combined. Number 2 is the find that ties the entire garden together and that former employees say generates the longest lines at the checkout when it appears in the spring rotation. 2. Complete drip irrigation kit with timer. Water is the variable that determines gardening success or gardening failure in any season, and the manual management of watering schedules is the aspect of gardening that most frequently breaks down for seniors, managing the energy fluctuations, health interruptions, and schedule variability that daily life involves. A drip irrigation system with a programmable timer removes the human reliability variable from the watering equation entirely. Plants receive precise water delivery at programmed intervals regardless of whether the gardener is available, energetic, or physically capable on any given day. The drip delivery method minimizes evaporation waste, eliminates the foliar wetting that promotes fungal disease on vegetable crops, and delivers water directly to the root zones where it is needed, rather than distributing it across the soil surface where a significant percentage evaporates before plant uptake occurs. The Aldi Drip Irrigation Kit with Timer in the 2026 Spring Garden Finds includes everything required for a complete installation across a raised bed or container garden arrangement. Programmable digital timer with battery backup, maintaining programming through power interruptions. Pressure regulator, ensuring consistent drip rate across varying municipal water pressure. Mainline tubing with pre-made emitter ports at standard spacing. Emitter stakes for individual container application. End caps and connector fittings for system customization. One item remaining, and it is the one that former employees, gardening communities online, and the seniors who found it last spring are all describing as the most unexpected and most genuinely extraordinary value in the entire Aldi Garden Finds rotation. 1. The complete vertical garden tower. System space is the constraint that prevents many seniors from gardening at all. No yard, a small balcony, a paved courtyard with no planting beds, a rental property where permanent ground modification is not permitted. These are the circumstances that have told a significant percentage of seniors who love growing their own food that growing their own food is simply not available to them in their current living situation. The vertical garden tower system in Aldi Aldi's 2026 Spring Garden Finds is the product that changes that answer from no to yes for more seniors than any other item in the rotation, and the online reaction to it from seniors who have been told by their living circumstances that they cannot garden is one of the most emotionally significant responses any Aldi Finds item has generated. The tower system grows up rather than out. A freestanding column structure with tiered planting pockets arranged vertically produces growing capacity equivalent to several square feet of ground-level garden bed within a footprint the size of a single large pot. The self-contained design includes a top-loading water reservoir that gravity feeds through the tower, providing the consistent moisture delivery to each planting pocket that outdoor vertical growing requires without a drip system installation. The 2026 Aldi version introduces a modular stacking design, allowing seniors to begin with a shorter tower and add height as their confidence and appetite for production grows, without purchasing a new system. The base unit stands at a height comfortable for senior harvest without bending. Each additional tier adds production capacity while maintaining the top-of-tower watering convenience that makes the system manageable as a single daily task rather than a multi-point maintenance program. Former employees describe the vertical garden tower as the single finds item that generated the most personal conversations at the shelf. Seniors explaining their living situations and asking whether the system would work for a specific balcony dimension, a specific sun exposure, a specific physical capability. Every conversation ended the same way, with the tower in the cart and a senior leaving the store with a gardening possibility they did not have when they walked in. The price that Aldi charges for this system is the price that makes those conversations possible. Vertical garden towers from specialty urban gardening retailers and online horticultural supply companies carry prices that position them as serious gardening investments. The Aldi price positions the same capability as an accessible spring purchase that any senior can make without budget deliberation. This is the item around which the entire Spring Garden Finds visit should be planned. Not because it is the most expensive or the most complex, because it is the most inclusive, the most enabling, and the most transformative in terms of what it makes possible for seniors whose living circumstances have been telling them that gardening is not available to them. It is available. It is at Aldi, and it will not be on the shelf for long. If this list is going into your spring planning right now, hit that like button and subscribe. Every week we track the Aldi finds that matter most for seniors, including the garden rotation items worth showing up early for, worth buying in quantity, and worth knowing about before the shelves empty and the growing season moves on without you. The next video is already on screen. We are counting down 15 Aldi finds, selling out fast in 2026. Every one of them worth the early Wednesday alarm, and none of them waiting for a senior who decides to come back tomorrow. You will not want to miss a single one.